Hello and welcome to episode 78 of the Cutie Art Crusaders for December 31st, 2013. Feliz Navidad, Prospero Ono e Felicidad. My name
that was pretty good.
is Rainbow Plasma, and today I'm joined by...
I'm Full Letter Guy 317.
And Mahower.
Woo!
Weird
We've got
cast.
the short bus today. No offense. But yeah, we are down 2 members of this podcast because Atmos Bark couldn't be here today for whatever reason. He texted us like yesterday and was like, "Oh yeah, by the way, can't come."
I'm gonna assume that it just got really hot down in Australia and that like things are melting and he has to like
because
spray
walls.
And he has to like spray them with water to like
There's too much expansion in his internet tubes.
Yeah.
So yeah, he's out this week, and Mr. Brenda is out for 2 weeks actually.
Yeah.
Surprisingly, again, this is a text message yesterday that said, "Oh yeah, by the way, going to Germany for 2 weeks. Bye." That was basically it. Like I'm not even exaggerating.
Yeah. He apparently like his dad like texted him or something or was talking to him and he was like, "By the way, we're going to Germany tomorrow." And he was like, "Oh, okay." So, he's not going to be with us this week or next week.
Yeah. So that's not going to work out. But you know, that's fine. That's fine.
Mahower's here
I'm sure
now.
we can survive.
It's okay.
Exactly. What it meant was we when we get down to too low, like don't get me wrong, Ted, like I really enjoy talking to you, but I don't think we can pull a podcast for an hour together. So, you know.
Yeah, I mean, you'd be surprised.
There was the Burned and Pinky Dash show.
But at the same time, like, you know, Mahower.
Right, exactly.
And come on.
Really can't go wrong.
Yeah.
Exactly. So, we brought on Mr. Manshower again for his third appearance?
Fourth?
Wait, fourth?
Fourth, because you...
Yeah.
Wait.
Something like that.
Depends what you classify as an appearance, because you were on
I
2
did
shows
appear,
before.
Yeah.
But you did appear one time randomly when I had to edit.
Yeah. Which was really awkward for you. You're like, why is Mahower's audio clip only 2 minutes long?
so this one was it was the 3 of them because I was away for whatever reason.
That was Leakfish interview.
And it was Leakfish, and I was coming back and I said, "Hey guys, I'm sorry I can't make it, but I'll edit for you." And that week, apparently they decided to invite Mahower on, and I was like, okay, that seems a bit weird, but that's fine. And then like I got the audio file and it was like 2 minutes long. Because apparently you guys didn't bring him on, but you were just like, you know what we should do? We should just have a random 2-minute clip that like RP has to like slot in somewhere.
Yeah.
Well, he'll figure it out.
Oh yeah.
It was like, hey, can you CAC record in like, I don't know, 5 minutes? It was like, sure. And then it was like, all right, you're on and you're off. It was like, all right, that works.
Yeah. It came together in the end.
Did you end up listening to the rest of that interview?
I did, but like I didn't get to hear what happened before or after. I kind of just had to pop on. Like I didn't know what was going on.
So like you didn't get to listen to it live, but you listened to it later.
No.
They were like 3, 2, 1 invite, and then it was just go.
I thought they'd be courteous enough to like ask you to mute, and then you could listen to the rest of it.
Oh
but apparently
no,
not.
forget that.
So Burn is gone. Mahower is in.
Mm-hmm.
I think that'll be fine.
Yeah.
I think it'll be fine.
It was Christmas last week.
That's true.
Yeah.
It was Christmas last week, so Merry Christmas to anyone who celebrates that. Other holidays,
as it says in
available.
the document, Christmas.
Yep, Christmas, Buttsmas, other forms. Kissmas, I believe, is one of them.
Yeah.
There's many different ways of saying it.
Morgan Freemas.
Morgan Freemas, as you so like to say.
Yeah.
So that was last week. Hope everyone had a great holiday season, whether or not you just got time off or whether or not you were celebrating Christmas or I think Kwanzaa's around this time of year anyways.
Yeah.
But as Cards Against Humanity said, whatever Kwanzaa's supposed to be about.
Oh.
No.
Yeah,
I'm an ignorant person, but that's all right.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I know Hanukkah was like super early this year. So
Yeah. It was definitely early. So that was out of the way early, so that's nice. But yeah, happy holidays to everyone, and a happy new year after this podcast airs, or probably because a lot of people listen to this the day after. Happy New Year to folks who are listening to this in 2014. Thank you for either spending one of your last moments of 2013 or one of your first moments in 2014 listening to us. May I suggest you not do so and do something better? But thank you all the same.
Yeah. Have some champagne or sparkling cider if, it's
If you
illegal.
are so inclined. if it's illegal. Only do so if it's completely illegal. Otherwise, it's boring.
if it's
Totally not worth it if it's illegal.
Exactly. Champagne doesn't actually taste that great unless you're under the age of whatever the age of drinking is in your preferred country.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
All right, so
So-
we've got an interesting lineup today. We decided that there was a combination, because we asked you guys for holiday stuff and for art, and we said, feel free to send us in tons of art that doesn't have to do with us, and basically all of you ignored us, and made us a bunch of really awesome fan art that has to do with
Yeah.
us, and we really do appreciate that, and we wanted to kind of figure out a way to put all of that kind of in, but we also wanted to put in regular Christmas stuff. So what we're doing is we're kind of doing a pretty quick episode today. We've got 10 art pieces that we're going to be featuring,
Yeah.
5 that don't have to do with us, and 5 that have to do with us. And I thought we would just kind of do a quick, more casual CAC. We got Mahower on. We don't have Burned. It's more casual thing. It's the holidays, that kind of thing. So we could take a break from our usual deep analyzation.
Mhm.
I don't think that's a real word.
And yeah.
It sounds
No,
good to me.
That works. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, we've got something cool for you guys. So
Mhm.
keep up and enjoy more art than usual.
Yeah. So we're going to start with the general holiday arts category, which is basically art from the show characters and not from us or
Mhm.
not about us.
Yeah.
So our first piece is called Merry Christmas 2013 by Inahoshi to Dark Pen.
And what we'll be doing with these pieces, for all of them, is generally speaking, is we'll be talking about one thing in particular that we really like about the piece, and spending about a minute or so on it, or just discussing it with each other. So I'd like to start off just by saying, I really really love Rainbow Dash in this piece, and I know that sounds biased, but it's just like this derpy, scrunchy face that she's making with the hat in her eyes. It doesn't really catch me as something that Rainbow Dash would do, but I don't know, it's super adorable regardless of the character.
Yeah. I think
Or-
all the expressions in this piece are really awesome.
Yeah,
I
She
love,
does a
definitely.
great job with that, though.
yeah. I love Spike. He's just giggling at Twilight because she's got this star on her horn.
Oh yeah, that's true. That's true. I guess
Yeah.
someone put that on there. It
Yeah.
fits too perfectly.
Yeah. Also, Fluttershy as Rudolph is adorable.
Self boop.
Everything going on in this kind of seems like someone just put it there and they're discovering it. Like, how did the star get on my horn? Why is my nose red?
Yeah.
Candy canes in my mouth. I'm down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sounds good to me.
Why is there holly on my hat?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know what Rarity's doing, but she looks like she's looking off and being like, oh, I can't believe what someone's wearing.
Or I can't believe that I'm wearing this tree.
Yeah. I don't know where the heck they're supposed to be, actually.
Yeah, I was thinking about that earlier. I was like,
I mean,
where does this take place?
Tree car?
The green
It
bush.
doesn't. Yeah, it doesn't look like a Christmas tree because there's no really top to it. Oh, I guess
I guess Twilight's the
Twilight
top.
is the top.
Yeah.
Actually, that makes sense.
Well, I guess that makes sense.
Huh. Yeah. No, but I mean, it's kind of funny. Just-
For sure. And
yeah.
Applejack with her festive hat and mistletoe.
Yeah.
I like the red hat. It goes really well with her. I'm probably biased because of the colors of my OC, but
Well,
Man,
she
those
had.
colors go so good together.
those 3 colors, that orange, that yellow, and that red, it's like they were made for each other. Whoever thought that idea was genius and not at all unoriginal.
I
So,
mean,
yeah.
she does have a red hat, as we saw in the latest episode, or the
Daring don't.
yeah with the party.
Breaking out the party hat.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I was what are you guys talking about in that giant party
the
hat?
giant red hat with the polka dots on it. Yeah.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah. But yeah, Inahoshi does a fantastic job with these pieces, expressions, and everything like that. So
Yeah. And
fantastic.
fan of the show.
I like looking at how different artists do Pinky's hair, because it's truly an enigma. Like, if you just look at it in the show, it's just a bunch of puffs, and when people try to put form to it, sometimes they do a really good job. I like it here.
Yeah, it's true. Actually, yeah, it's not something that you think about often, but most of the pony's hair is rather straightforward, even Rarity's, because it's all got form and shape and stuff like that. But Pinky's kind of has a mind of its own.
Yeah.
So, all right, so we're gonna move on to our next piece, which is called "While the Pageant Plays" by the Wizard of Art.
Great username, by the way.
Yes.
I love that one. But this is actually a traditional piece. This is done with watercolor, which is amazing because I heard it was traditional, and my first instinct was, oh, this looks like something like a, oh God, we only call it up in Canada. It's like a colored pencil.
Yeah.
I
That's what we call it.
pencil. I was about to say pencil crayon, but that's Canadian.
Yeah.
But it's like a colored. It looks like a colored pencil thing, or I don't know, maybe like really, really good work with a crayon. But it's actually watercolor, which you can see more so in the background. But it's amazing that he can get so much detail in with just watercolor.
Yeah, when I think of watercolor, I normally think like a lot more splotchy and let your eyes fill in the details, but not here at all. I thought it was a colored pencil at first too, and then I felt like a fool when I read it. I was like, oh, watercolor. Man, I'm good at this.
Yeah, the Wizard of Art is one of the best artists I've ever seen, regardless of pony or not. He's done some spectacular. He's done a lot of Lord of the Rings stuff that's pretty spectacular, and so if he needs to create these pieces that are very detail orientated, he can definitely do that. He's got the skill to do so, and you can see it here. And I can't imagine just the time and the precision that goes into making a watercolor like this.
Like, check out that fire in the background.
Yeah, I know.
It looks sweet.
I can't draw a normal fire, and I'm not even using watercolors.
Yeah.
A lot of people have problems with fire.
Yeah. I really do enjoy the watercolor in this piece and in any watercolor piece, because like if you look at the textured backgrounds, like for instance on the wall and stuff, you do get this like little bit of splotchiness to it. But obviously the Wizard of Art has a really fine and detailed touch to his watercolor, because it's like in places where it's not supposed to be splotchy or textured, it's not, which is really good. And it's all like splotched and like shaded and stuff in the right places.
Yeah, which is hard enough to do without having something that... I mean, I suppose it's hard to say that watercolor is a disadvantage, but I would say it's one of the harder arts to get into.
Yeah.
And it's one of those things where, it's possible to create certain looks with digital art or certain looks with, sketches or whatever. But it's harder to... It's kind of like striking away from the norm. And that's definitely harder to do, regardless of whatever form you're using,
Yeah, definitely.
Like, I think that people, when they insert textures into like digital pieces and stuff, this is like the kind of texture that they strive for, like what he made here. Like how it's just perfect and everywhere it needs to be, and it's perfectly detailed in places it needs to be. Just really well made.
Very natural too. Yeah.
Like, I kind of get the feeling that a lot of artists think that digital art is easier to do than traditional, just because like you can undo things or you can like scrap layers and stuff, and it's a lot easier like that. But like to get the same kind of result like this piece probably takes about the same amount of work, if not more, just because of the textures and stuff. And like,
there's additional stuff you have to do on top of it. Some stuff's easier, but then other things like this natural look that normally is just present in the real world, not the non-digital art, suddenly you have to add back in, which is an extra step. So there's pros and cons to both for sure.
Also, this looks like a really comfy scene.
It's nice.
Yeah, sitting in the fire, reading carols by the tree.
Oh my gosh, OCs that don't look bad.
I know.
Even the multicolored mini Celestia doesn't look bad. Like, the colors go good together.
Yeah.
Well, it's kind of a trick, because the part right to her right of the teddy bear that's Celestia.
Yeah.
She's just got the yellow and the
I've
blue.
been fooled. It looks like, oh god.
You have been fooled.
It
But
still
I like
looks
the yellow
good,
and the
though.
blue. Yeah, I like the yellow and the blue.
Yeah.
It's really cute.
Oh my god, that looks like it's her like back hair.
I know.
Yep.
It could be, and it wouldn't look bad.
Yep. All right, so we're going to move on to our next piece, because we kind of have to go fairly quickly, which is called Happy Hearts Warming by Reno Kim. And this shows Celestia and Luna with rosy cheeks opening presents.
weird. I really enjoy this artist, and I've talked to you guys about this artist, but I don't think we've featured the artist necessarily.
No, I don't think so.
But I know we've talked about it, and I've
Mhm.
seen it before. For some reason, I was not watching them, so I'm going to correct that now. I really enjoy things that break the whole idea of a square border with things, and a lot of that can be done with just plain transparencies. You don't have to fill out the border; you can make it transparent. Luckily, DeviantArt has managed to find a formula for a color that actually looks good in most scenarios, like that minty kind of green.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I really do enjoy that transparency on that, and the way it kind of breaks the natural border of a square like you usually see, or a rectangle.
Yeah, that's oh god, I really love when pieces do that. Make their own natural border that just goes around. Because the square, like, it kind of like it makes it like you're seeing the whole picture. But I feel like when things make their own border, like you're just seeing a piece of it, and like I don't even know how to describe it. I love it.
It seems less artificial when you're looking at a box. A lot of
Yeah.
times it's much easier to see it and go, oh, well, that's a box of art. Whereas when you have much more flowing things, it's like, oh, this is a real thing.
Yeah.
It's easier to understand that.
Well, like we've talked about framing in the past, and some pieces do the square frame. Some pieces don't do framing at all. Some pieces do the square frame. Some pieces, like, they'll do framing within the piece, but they still have the border that's like a square or rectangle. But this piece does framing with, like, the Celestia and Luna's wings really well on the outside, because it kind of packs everything in, and it kind of gives you a well-defined piece of art. Like, this is the art. The wings are what's framing the art piece.
Yeah, it's got because there's two different types of framing. There's the explicit framing, which is the borders of the actual piece, and there's the implicit framing. Those are terms I just literally made up. So if those aren't the technical terms, then please forgive me. But Burns not here.
Yeah.
But there's like I was saying, there's explicit, which is like the actual boundaries, which people can mess with or they can do whatever, and that's kind of the entire piece. And then there's the internal framing, which is funnily enough because in this piece they've got both at the same time. They've got the external framing, which is the fact that they don't have those borders, right? But they also have the internal framing because the wings kind of create this oval, almost like round braces around the two ponies, and it kind of like centers the piece, So it has that a combination of external and internal framing.
Yeah. I really like the colors that Reno can use in here. It's just like these little accents, like the rosiness in Luna and Celestia's cheeks, and the little dabs of lightness in the wings and stuff like that. And it's just all so well placed that it kind of just makes the piece.
Also, lens flares.
Yes.
So many lens flares.
Yeah.
It's interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe that's snow.
I think, yeah. Well, some of it is snow.
Yeah, like
I think it's supposed to imitate snow, for sure.
Some of it sparkles in the mains and stuff.
Yeah, there's sparkles in the mains. There's a lot of, that's another artificial way of creating texture. Is to add those kind of things. It does look like snow out of the corner of the eye, but then when you look at it directly, it can also be lens flare, which implies light, and there's a bunch of different things there.
Yeah. All right, so we're gonna move on to our next piece, which is called "An Angel on Top," and an angel atop a tree. Tongue twister there. By Foxy Noxy, and I adore this piece. It is so cute.
Yeah, it is.
It's so simplistic, but it's just I don't know, the styling of it is so adorable.
Yeah. It's. I mean, we don't often get to feature a lot of cute things. But I would argue that more people at the CAC regularly look at cute things over artsy things. The show is kind of where we get our artsy fix. But if you look through like any of our favorites, we've mostly got cutesy things.
Yeah, I could attest to that.
I mean, that's
for sure.
kind of why we started watching the show. At least
true.
some of us,
It's true.
because of the
for sure.
cutesiness.
Yeah, and her expression is just adorable. I love the. It's kind of becoming more common, and I don't remember who started. I think it was Egophiliac did a little bit of that and popularized it. But it's that those simplistic noses that go into the mouths. No, it must not have been Egophiliac because that's a different style. But there's an artist in particular who has their noses or has the mouths and the noses together just by creating this one swoop.
Yeah.
It's an implied mouth, you know?
Mhm.
I really enjoy that muzzle style.
It's very cute. It's very
Yeah.
cute for sure.
There's a lot
Yeah.
of different spins on it. Like I know, look, I'm bringing up Leakfish, but like she kind of does it. It's a little more complicated though. But yeah, it really just gives it a more cartoony feeling, and it's always adorable.
Mhm.
Yeah, yeah.
And
I
because
really enjoy it.
because it is part of the nose swoop, it kind of gives this expression of like happiness because it looks like this giant smile.
Yeah, yeah.
So it's so adorable.
Mhm.
And the eyes are like super large too, like larger than the show even, which
Mhm.
adds to the cuteness.
Yeah, yeah. It's literally like their entire face.
Yeah.
It's funny how that works. It's
Yeah.
an interesting psychology experiment
Yeah.
to do with eye size.
Yeah.
Digging
Um,
Angel's expression as well.
He's not
su-
happy up
he's
there.
such a grumpy cat. I mean,
Poor Angel.
I know.
Look, he's like a Pegasus now, though.
He's
got angel wings.
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
I wonder if there are any like other creatures that have wings or horns.
That'd be cool.
Like, yeah.
Bunnicorn.
Maybe we'll see like a jackalope or something.
That's funny.
Yeah.
I also really enjoy the use of this picture's texture.
Mhm.
If you're looking at this picture, no, your screen is not got dirt on it. If you scroll up and if you go to the actual picture and you scroll up and down, you'll see that a lot of this like dirty feel to it is put into the piece itself. I have scrubbed my monitor too many times looking at this piece, and it's especially present along the left-hand side. There's a very, very subtle ellipse surrounding the entire thing, and it's fading in a little bit at the corners, which is a really interesting touch. And it's also got this, very grungy texture to it. And what that's supposed to symbolize, at least what I believe, is something similar to like looking through a window in the winter, especially something like a car window. It gets quite dirty as well as snowy, and it gets a little bit foggy and stuff like that, and it's not quite a perfect scene right out there. So you can see the colors tint a little bit to be a little bit weird, and there's that grungy texture, and you've got like almost like cold dark points in the corners that are all supposed to help signify winter, and break up the whiteness of the snow and the simplicity of the background a little bit better than just having those there as solid colors.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's interesting that ellipse that you were talking about does kind of give the piece a little bit of framing outside of the explicit rectangle.
Yeah.
And there's also kind of a depth of field to this piece. Like it is a very, very simplistic background, but you do have a little bit of shift in value. There is some blurring. I'm not going to say atmospheric perspective because that's kind of pushing it, but it does give you this kind of depth to the piece.
Yeah, it has a little bit of it, but you're right. It's kind of hard to say for sure.
Mm-hmm.
There's a really interesting concept with that kind of ellipse shading. I don't remember the exact thing. There is a term for that kind of for those kind of like that rounded corners like coming in, where you basically the technical term, because I know how to do it technically. The technical way you do it is you make an ellipse, so like an oval that covers widthwise, and then you like fade out from there. So it's like the corners, you have like rounded corners that are fading in, and you can make it very small or very large or whatever. And I don't remember what that's called. It's not like a silhouette or something, or it's a vignette. That's what it is. A vignette. And it's amazing what a vignette can do. I can't believe I actually remember that. It's amazing what a vignette can do to change the feel of a piece. And something very subtle it can do is it can change your perception. Instead of looking at something and being like, that's an art piece, we're now looking at this and we're saying, it looks like we're looking at the scene. That sounds really stupid, but it looks like we're looking through someone's eyes at the scene as opposed to just looking at an art piece.
Yeah.
Like it implies that someone is looking at this scene, which a lot of times can mean very creepy things, like in horror movies with vignettes and stuff. But in this piece in particular, it again reinforces that kind of looking through a window outside, like Fluttershy is playing in the snow. Maybe Discord's looking at the window or whatever. It's an interesting concept.
Yeah. That'd be an interesting thing is a snowball fight with Discord.
You cheat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So one last thing about this piece is it was part of a 12 Days of Christmas collaboration. So if you go to the piece, which you can find in our favorites on DeviantArt, you can find all of the other pieces there that were part of the collaboration, and it's basically like the 12 Days of Christmas kind of thing. So there's all these pieces by a bunch of people, and this is
A lot of really good artists.
Yeah, this is the last piece in that collaboration.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's great different styles and varieties in there, so I would highly recommend checking out that big piece because it's really cool.
Mm-hmm.
One in particular that I really enjoy is the 8 snowy storm clouds, but we won't go too far into detail on that one.
I like the 7 pinkies grinning.
Well, that's because you like Pinkie Pie.
And the style's really good. Let's not deny it.
Well, that's the comic style, so there you go.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay, so our last piece in the general category is MLP Happy Holidays 13 by SS2 Sonic.
Mm-hmm. And this is not something you traditionally see on the show because Burn's not here, so we can do weird stuff. Yay!
Yay!
It's kind of like an anime feel to it. And there's a number of people in the fandom who do art pieces like this that we don't get to feature because it doesn't really fit in with our show.
Yeah. I actually really like this style that SS2 Sonic has. I don't know, it's kind of, there is a bit of a texture to the characters, and they all do have this anime-esque feel to it, but it's a very like cartoony anime style.
Yeah.
And it's not like really simplistic necessarily, but it's more simplistic than a lot of art that we see on the show. But I in general like his style.
Well, the thing is with anime and stuff, a lot of things are over exaggerated, and so when things are over exaggerated, it becomes like a focus, you know, like they're in real life. There's a lot of subtle things that go on, and usually someone isn't all angry or all this or all that or all wings or all, you know, whatever. But in anime and stuff, it's very accentuated, you know, like if someone's feeling happy, they're not just like a smirk, they're like over the top Pinkie Pie holding a present happy, you know. And what it does is it actually does simplify it because the characters kind of in your head, you see this big thing and it's like it takes over almost, you know. So it is kind of simplified, not in an artistic way, but in an emotional sense, because you get kind of overpowered by certain elements. Like Angel Bunny isn't just tired; he is tired, and that's the only thing he is. You know,
Big yawn.
Exactly.
What is Dash?
I don't know.
No idea.
I don't know.
But yeah, like even on Spike, there's these extra lines
Right.
that, you know, kind of show like
Exactly.
yeah. His
Look,
emotions.
he's shocked. Just in case you weren't noticing, he's incredibly shocked. You know, like there's stuff like that. Of course anime isn't all about that, but
No.
it's a very common theme you see in these kind of styles.
Yeah. There is a big focus, I think, with anime on like that particular portrayal of emotions, because it happens quite a lot in anime.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's not so much about the subtlety of things. It's more about the blatant expressions and stuff like that. So, but yeah, I mean, it's I really enjoy this piece.
Certainly a lot to look at. Like
Yes.
every character's doing something. A lot of interaction going on.
Also, Discord is behaving himself, which I find weird.
He's probably one of the least strange characters in all of it.
Yeah.
He's emoting one of the least, but yeah, he still gives off a lot of personality, so the artist does a good job there.
Yeah.
Interesting anthro style.
Yeah.
No feet, but hands.
Yeah.
Everyone does it differently.
But,
Is it a 3 on the scale?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
I think so.
All right, so now we're going to move from general MLP Christmassy holiday art to fan art that you guys have made.
Right,
for
because
us.
you guys made like a bunch of different things for us that we weren't expecting. So we figured there was a sizable amount. There it was just like the perfect size to like fit in to an episode because there was 5 of them. So it just happened to be perfect.
Yeah. So we're going to go ahead with the first piece, which is called Christmas Gift for the CAC by Otaku AP.
Mhm.
And,
And so this one was a series of 4 kind of postcards that he decided to just mash together and throw into one piece.
mhm.
But Otaku AP has always done a great job of not only making great art in general, but also characterizing us. And he actually made, oh my God, how do we forget this? It's literally my icon right now.
Oh yeah, that piece.
Yeah, so he also made this piece, which is a cozy evening, which is super adorable. And
It
so you
is
can see kind of
so
the
cute.
characterization. He does a great job with characterization. I mean, obviously, who we are on the show isn't exactly who we are in real life, but he does a really good job of taking our personalities and kind of putting them into the characters and
Mhm.
and things like that. And I think it's great in both of these pieces.
I love Joel or Emma Spark in A Cozy Evening.
Yeah, yeah, just
Underneath the table.
under the table,
Shipping.
yeah.
I really like
Well,
your
he-
expression in that.
Yeah, with the croissant.
Yeah, no, it's great. Like, this one actually, it's funny that we mentioned the cozy evening one. We're gonna talk about this one more now, but this one actually captures more of what I feel like our personalities off of the show are a little bit more. Like Joel is, God damn it, Atmospark is. He's not the old. He's the second oldest. You're the oldest.
Yeah.
But he really is a kid at heart, and he's a goofy little guy who kind of would be the kind of person to lie under a table and do stuff while people are chatting around.
Yeah.
That's just kind of who he is, and I think Burned is a bit goofy like that. There's stuff like that where like I'll do like stupid stuff, and it's funny because I have a really big oral fixation. I always have stuff in my mouth, so it's funny that way they happen to put the croissant in my mouth.
Well,
you're
and you mentioned in that steampunk piece about the croissant, and you
Yeah,
were in love with that. So I mean,
yeah, I love that. And
I thought that's where that
yeah.
came from.
Yeah.
yeah, well, it is,
Yeah.
and then you're looking at me like, what are you doing, you
Yeah.
goofy? So
You
I
crazy.
think this is more. It was when I looked at it, I was surprised at how close it hit to home in terms of personalities of us, like in real life, because we are generally kind of different from how we are on the show.
Yeah.
It's not always super different, but
Yeah. I mean, we're fairly true to ourselves on the show.
thing about
but...
the thing about
Little
having a
less
show,
PG.
a
You
little
know.
bit. But the thing about having a show, and I'll say this really quickly because we have to move on to the other stuff.
Yeah.
But the thing about having a show is that when we come on the show, we're kind of two-dimensional. It kind of because you kind of compress yourself down into bite-sized chunks for people. Because when people are listening, they want to, hear certain personalities and stuff. And the more we do this show, the more we get to be three-dimensional. But, it's hard to kind of compress people into an hour and give them personality and stuff like that. So this one is surprisingly hit close to home because it was very, very much like us.
Yes. Yep. Okay, so we're gonna move on to our next piece. Thank you, Otaku IP.
Thank
for that.
you very much.
So our next piece is called Sleigh Ride by I Am Not, otherwise known as
I'll also be
Nocturnal
sneaking
Pony.
in a Mahower in all of this one because
yes.
Mahower happened to come into the episode where we're talking about ourselves.
All our art. Oh, so good.
Yeah, R as in not Mahower. So I'll be sneaking in a Mahower into all of these pieces somewhere. This will be your game. Find the Mahower.
So in this piece, Mahower is so adorable.
Oh, look
You
at
have
that
to find him
expression.
though. It's a game.
Yeah.
Mhm.
This piece, I love this piece. This is fantastic.
Yeah, I mean, I am not otherwise known as Nocturnal Pony because I will never call him I am not. But he has this incredible ability to make a style and for it to be amazing, and then go, man, I'm kind of bored with this, and then make another style and for it to be amazing.
Mm-hmm.
So he has like 3 or 4 things that he does that are just incredible, and he's got such raw talent with it.
Mm-hmm.
And in this one, he took some inspiration from Graystripe, who we had on a little while ago, and decided to do something in a little similar vein, and it came out great. I love this piece.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's interesting because I can kind of see a pattern in I Am Not's styles. Like there is still this kind of hardish shading to it, which has kind of always been in his work, and kind of more square-ish. Like Burns' mane, for instance, is kind of square
Yeah.
at points.
Yeah.
But it definitely is like different than his earlier pieces where it was very almost vectory, and in this there's a lot more of that painterly kind of
Yeah, I think
to it.
as he's going along, he's gaining a lot of diversity in his art, and I think that's really important to have this diversity in your art and to make sure, obviously. People, that's the thing, because people try to go for a style. A lot of these young artists go, "Oh, I wish I had a style," but it's a mark of a true artist that he can do this and it can look like Gray Stripe's art. And like this isn't after like 50 tries. Like he was just like, "I want to try something that was inspired by Gray Stripe," and then he
Yeah.
made this, and it's like, wow,
Yeah.
that's pretty amazing.
Yeah.
The second I saw this, I saw the gray stripe in it, but I definitely see a little bit of his style bleeding through, which is not a bad thing at all. Like it came out
Exactly.
so good.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's like a blend, which is really really cool, and he's got his fantastic OC in it. So
Yeah.
I just we harp on black and red OCs so much, but he did a fantastic job of blending those colors.
yeah, he is the exception to the rule. As we
Yes.
mentioned, where we met him was because he submitted to our OC episode with his OC, and we were like, "Oh my gosh, this is so good! This is the exception to the
Yeah.
rule that we were talking about." And so he has a great OC as well. So it's like perfect person, good.
Yeah. Also, I'm terribly sorry that you're driving the sleigh, you and Burned.
Yeah, well, you know.
I'm just kind of sitting in the back there chilling.
Me and Burned, really? That's a stretch. Who's actually doing the work?
Yeah, actually, yeah, because Burns.
This one hit pretty close to home too.
if you look at like Burns' hooves are dug down into the ground, and you're the actual one that's moving forward or trying to.
Oh man. Yeah.
That's fantastic.
I love it. This is I really love this piece.
Yeah. I also really love this next piece, which is called Everfree of Wonders by Assassin Monkey. And it is adorable.
So I guess he's decided to make this into a little series of sorts where, you know, he's given us a couple pieces of fan art in the past which are, you know, these vast things with great backgrounds and man, like they're just spectacular. So I guess he's making it into a little series and he just added a new little addition to it here with finding the Christmas tree. And oh my goodness, Flutterguy, your face
I know. It's so
is
cute.
the best.
If you look at like not to take attention away from my face because it is adorable and everything, but if you look out the cave entrance, you can see the flag that we planted in the first piece that Assassin Monkey did of
That's
us.
really cool.
way in the back. It's hard to see.
So it is kind of a continuation, like because he had that piece, and then he had a piece like inside of a cave, and then now there's this piece,
Yeah,
which is really cool.
So there's all those things. Although wasn't the second one like really aged up, or is that a different one?
Yeah, that was the second one with Burndolf.
Oh yeah, we weren't aged up. It just looked like we were. So we made a joke that Burn looked like Gandalf.
And then he drew Burn as Gandalf.
Burndolf the Burned of Burnshire.
Yeah,
That
which is fantastic.
You know, it's funny because I was looking back through these other pieces that we have that he's submitted to us, and it's really interesting how his style has come along. Because looking back at his oldest work that he created for us a year ago, it was just a year ago, and how much that changed over the 6 months when he submitted the other one, and now this third one. How he's kind of refined his style from a messier brushstroke kind of thing to this, to this much looser and yet stylized piece. It's funny because we've been along with him throughout the journey, so I actually haven't noticed that much of a change. But looking back on it now, it's quite a vivid change, and it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Good job, Assassin Monkey. Good job.
I really like two things about this piece. One is the expressionisticness of like the reflections in the water. Because it's really just like squiggles of light and stuff like that.
Right.
But if you like step back and look at it from afar, it's reflections of like you and me and the Christmas tree and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Which you see a lot in like pieces from the expressionist time period, like Monet water lilies and stuff like that. And I also like the little touch of color that Assassin Monkeys added with the mushrooms underneath the tree that I guess are supposed to represent presents or something.
Oh, yeah, that's adorable.
Yeah. It's not something that you'd notice at first, but it's just like, they're there. They're cute.
And as always, Assassin Monkey does a great job of providing work in progress stuff. And so if you want to go check that out, then it is in our favorites folder, and then you just go to that one, and it's got it in the description there, and you can see how he starts out with sketches, very rough sketches, and then goes to value, and then adds color later, and then shading and different things like that. It's I really, we've always expressed how we've loved that kind of work in progress stuff, and he's happy to oblige. So great job.
Yeah, thank you, Assassin Monkey. Okay, so our next piece is called "A Very Merry Christmas, Every Pony" by Medi Bobo, or aka Met Bob, aka Medi,
AKA my official stalker.
aka Butt Buddy. Yeah. So this piece is us, I guess, in a snowstorm.
It's funny because he submitted this to us, and then I was like, oh, that's cool. He made fan art of us, and then I realized we're like in the background, and I was like, oh, well, then it was funny. But obviously we know Met Bobby's been around for a long time, so we wanted to put him up on the show, and he's along that process with the artistic journey as well, and it was very nice of him to include us in this kind of piece with a bunch of his friends too, which is really, really nice.
Well, yeah, it's interesting to see a lot of like the fans of our show in this piece. Like their OCs like Yila Wolf and Commander Sparkle, Smooth Sailing Pony, Mummified. They're all in here, which is nice because they, I guess, they kind of became friends because of our show.
That's the craziest thing to me about the show. I mean, there's a lot of crazy things about the show, so I am exaggerating when I say this is the craziest thing, but it's a side effect that you'd never guess. Like the fact that like a sub community of a community like My Little Pony, would spawn their own group of friends. I mean, like Mahower and Flutterguy and all the CAC and like a lot of the people that we talked to all had to do with vectors and stuff. And to this day, it's very similar that most of the people we talk to have to do with that vector club. Yeah. And in a similar sense, a lot of the people in this picture who have all obviously become much closer friends started so because of our show. And I guess it's really no different. It's just amazing to me,
Yeah, it's kind of weird, like thinking that we inspired friendships and stuff that, will last for a long time. And
yeah, no, that's awesome. I really enjoy that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's nice. Anyways, thank you very much, Medi, for sending this in.
Yeah, it's adorable.
Even if Burned and Flutterguy are hidden.
Yeah, it looks like you're like. Well, you're planning
dropping
some mischief, and then Atmospark is planning even bigger mischief.
A lot of mischief.
Yeah, and then if you want to Photoshop in Mahower above him with a huge
Flutterguy, I told you I'm first of all, Photoshop you. Second of all, I'm editing in Mahower into every single one of these pieces, but it's hidden. You have to find him.
You're ruining the game.
You're ruining the game. All right. Well, on a very similar note.
Yes. So our last piece is called CAC Winter Holiday Art by none other than Mummified Mustangs,
who is in the background of the last piece.
Mm-hmm.
And this is an extension of what you were saying before, where we see these four people who are obviously close friends now, which is very cool. And then us in the background.
Yeah.
in funny little ways there.
I have no idea. I guess I'm eating a carrot.
Yeah, you got a carrot in your mouth. You're eating in almost all of these, like everyone.
Yeah.
Every single one you're eating.
I do enjoy food. So there's that.
That's funny. Yeah, no, there's you and there's all the fans in the front, and that's great, and we're doing whatever in there. But I think the highlight of this one, the absolute highlight of this one, is the burned hawk.
Yes.
Because what the heck is going on there?
Well, you see, Burned cut his hair.
Well, yeah, okay, so Byrne did an incredible thing, which is completely changed himself from his OC, because we would tease him all the time when we were joking with him before, because he made a pony that looks very much like him. He had long hair, and he had like a little goatee thing off of his chin. Now Burned has cut his hair and recently shaven, so now he's clean shaven, short hair Burned.
Yeah.
Which is hilarious to me. But now it's like his pony is like someone from the past for him. But obviously, Mummified has taken this and said, "Now we're gonna make your OC short too." But that's not what he looks like, by the way. His old OC looked like him because it had similar type of hair. This is not. You didn't get a mohawk, but I like it all the same.
Yeah, no, I think it works well.
Oh man, that's funny.
That is pretty funny. But yeah, I mean, this does kind of go off the last piece, and it's really nice to see, like, you know, that these artists within the community and people who like have become artists because of our show have become so close because of the show and whatnot.
And I think Mummified is has found a real love for you know, like vector art and stuff
Good
like
choice.
that. I think
Good
he's starting to move towards that. You know, he did that animation as well. So
yeah,
I think
that amazing animation. Oh my God, thank you so much.
so I think he's starting to move towards that. And it's interesting. You know, again, like, you don't have to look at a lot of artists necessarily as people who like have to reach a certain point, but a lot of it can just be fun along the way. You know, that's kind of how I viewed my art experience, because I've stopped making art. You know, but you know, it's more of just a fun journey, and you start somewhere and you end somewhere, and you do some cool stuff in the middle, and you have a fun time. Not every single person on DeviantArt has to be an artist in the boldest of senses, you know. It can just be a fun little thing that you do with some of your friends like this, you know.
Yeah,
it's a really cool thing.
Yep.
So thank you very much, Mummified, for your art piece, and everyone who sent in art pieces. If we managed to miss yours somehow, then we do apologize. But as you can see, we had a lot to go through. But yeah, that's it for the art. We made really good time. I'm so proud of us. I'm so proud.
So yeah, thank you guys for sending in first your suggestions for pieces, and second for all of your fan art. It's really touching. So let's move on to the Cunas.
Cunas.
All right, I guess since Atmo isn't here, I'm going to be doing questions.
Yep.
Yeah, it's weird, but yeah.
I'm not even going to try the accent. I'll butcher it, but...
Oh, dear God.
Oh, God, no. We already have the British mad at us because of the...
Oh, God. All right, so first up, what is your favorite Christmas tradition? It can be a personal family one or more everyone does it kind of thing. What's your favorite tradition? Go.
Sent in by...
Oh, Elia Wolf and Thratton. We kind of combined two.
Elia Wolf.
Did you just say Elia
She's going to kill you.
It's Eila Wolf.
Eila Wolf.
And
I knew
Thratton
that too.
sent in a similar...
Yeah.
and Thratton sent in a similar question, so we threw him in there as well.
Yeah.
But favorite Christmas tradition?
Hmm.
Well, I guess I'll share... There's a couple of things that my family does. We don't really have a huge amount of traditions that we do, but there's two things that we do. I personally am not a very religious person, but my mother kind of is. But she likes to go to a December 24th, so Christmas Eve service at night, and she loves to sing because my mom really loves to sing. It's where I get it from, and she's a fantastic singer as well. And so she loves to go and she loves to sing like the Christmas carols and some of the stuff that's sung in churches on Christmas Eve. And it's a great way to get together and kind of just sing in a big group. So she loves to do that. So we go out with her for that one. And we also have a big tradition, which is on Christmas, someone helps her. Usually it's me or my sister or something. We help her and we make a big like turkey dinner, and just like a standard big dinner for Christmas, and then we all chow down and like watch a movie or something. So that's it's pretty basic, but yeah.
Yeah. Let's see. One of the traditions that I like, it's not necessarily my favorite one, but on Christmas Eve, my mom reads us the 'Twas the Night Before Christmas. We have like a pop-up book that I got like when I was maybe 1 year old or something like that. And so she reads that to my sister and I, and it's nice. We've done it like every year.
That's cute.
Yeah.
That's freaking adorable.
Yeah. But I think my favorite would probably be all the food that we have. From the Christmas, we do like a Christmas Eve dinner with my grandma. And then we do a Christmas Day like lunch/dinner, and it's big, and we all kind of help out with prepping it and stuff, and obviously we all help out eating it. So.
For sure.
Yeah.
My Christmas is so different from both of yours. Like,
oh yeah.
Like this year, like my parents are having like shrimp and fish and stuff, just seafood. I'm not like a really big seafood person at all. So
really?
Yeah, oh god, not a fan. So went to like a nearby like hoagie sub place and got a giant chicken Diablo, and I ate that on Christmas Eve. And then my sleep schedule right now is atrocious. Like I go to sleep at 7 in the morning. Like it's really bad. And so instead of going to sleep and waking up the next day, I just didn't sleep and celebrated Christmas with my family. Like at like 5:30 in the morning, my mom made pancakes and sausage and we just and buy some apples.
That sentence again? Try that sentence again?
Sausage and pancakes. Nothing besides that. And then we like did presents and stuff, just got clothes. And then I went to sleep, woke up, and they were in New Jersey. And then I had for Christmas I had a ham sandwich from the day before. Like,
wow, that's interesting.
It's different, but it's exactly what I wanted, and I guess that's what matters.
That's true. That's true. That's true.
Hey,
all right.
I did a good job most of the episode.
But people won't know what you're talking about. Just move on to the next question.
If you could change one thing about the holiday season, what would you change? Like less holiday music on the radio is an example from Blue Moon 1996. That's a good example. I really do hate Christmas music. I don't know why.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I like some Christmas music, but it's overplayed way too often. I think the thing that I would change is that things start way too early for any holiday, really.
Yeah, it's true.
But like, you know, it was before Halloween and you started seeing Christmas things in stores and Christmas music on the radio and people decorating for Christmas and stuff like that. And it's, you know, it could be nice, but at the same time, it's like after a while, it gets kind of grinding.
Yeah,
that's so true.
Yeah, they kind of turned like the holidays into like December is now Christmas month, and maybe that's why nobody likes the music and stuff because they start in October. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Well, it's not even that too, because you know, just a little personal aside. When with my family, we would always you know, talk. We would always, because we have similar birthday. We have birthdays kind of spread around the year, but you know, so my birthday is at the end of November, and my sister's birthday is in the new year, so like February. And so when we talk about birthdays and stuff, we have a rule where you can't talk about the next holiday until the previous one is over. So, for example, my birthday is November 30th. So it was always a rule in my family that in order to not like diminish my birthday at all, you couldn't talk about Christmas or future birthdays or whatever until my birthday was done. And then then you'd go on to Christmas. And then when Christmas was done, then you'd go on to my sister's birthday and et cetera, you know? So it's funny because I grew up with that. So when I see things, because Christmas stuff doesn't start in December. Christmas stuff starts in like the beginning of November. It's almost like it actually offends me because I'm like, don't they know the rule? Like you can't talk about Christmas until
Don't they know it's my birthday first? Like, come on.
Yeah,
guys.
exactly. But it's almost like, you know, you forget everyone else's birthday up to that point. You know, and I really feel for people who are like December and on, because it must be much worse, you know, to have something like that and it to be completely overshadowed. So I would agree. I'm gonna be boring and say I that would be my thing too, because I couldn't think of anything else. So that's my thing too. Just so much. It's so much time before. I don't care about the hype because it's kind of fun and whatever.
Yeah.
And there's sales. I love sales, but you know. It's way too early. Way too early. Summer is over and Halloween starts, and then Halloween's over and Christmas starts, and it's ridiculous. You know, we're gonna be seeing Valentine's Day stuff the second that New Year's over, and it's dumb. It really is.
Yeah.
Well, I think we all agree on that one.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then now for a funner one. Yes, funner's a word now. You get to spend Hearthswarming Eve with one MLP character of your choice. Who would it be?
Sent in by Threaten.
Threaten.
Oh yeah, the last
Excuse
question.
me.
The last question was by Blue Moon 1996.
I said
We
that.
didn't mention
I said it.
Yeah. You did say that.
just in case. Well, it's on the screen too, so to be fair, people can read as well.
Yeah.
So yeah, you have to spend Hearthswarming with an MLB character of your choice. Who would it be? Now, this does seem kind of easy because you would be like, oh, just spend it with the person I would normally. But I think it would be fun to kind of think about like who would be the most Christmassy pony.
Yeah.
You know, like who would be really into that? You know, because like Pinkie Pie is celebrating all parties, so that's a thing. You know, and But, Twilight seems to be really into events. Like she likes to be involved in things.
Mm-hmm.
So I would imagine she'd have a pretty cool Christmas party as well.
That would be the most organized Christmas ever.
The checklist of things that happen to happen on the party.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I think I might go with Applejack because I really, really like Christmas dinner.
Yeah.
And I have a feeling that family
The
would
food.
have the best Christmas dinner
I feel like
ever.
that's all they'd be doing
Holy
all day,
cow.
though. It's like,
That's
Is
fine,
there
though,
a
because I'm not
problem
part of
with
the family. I'm a guest.
Oh, I guess.
So I don't have to make
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah.
I just come in and I'm like, oh, look, I'm a friend.
Are those apple fritters? Yum. Okay, thanks. Bye.
Oh, you made apple turkey and apple stuffing and apple mashed potato. Can I go to Twilight's?
Oh my god, apple turkey with applewood smoked bacon. I mean, besides the fact that ponies are vegetarian,
Apple
but that's
It's an interesting concept to think about because I think Rarity would be a little bit too snooty, so I don't think I would. I don't think she's snooty in general, but I think when it comes to like holiday events, she might be a little bit, too.
the truth comes
not my
out.
style. And like Fluttershy, I don't know, what would her Christmas be like? Maybe she'd just get together and try to help out as much as possible. Decorate the tree or something, or probably Rainbow Dash would decorate the tree because she would fly around and decorate it super quick and it'd be super messy. But whatever.
in 10 seconds flat.
Yeah, that's a really interesting thing. I've never thought about what those personality types would be around Christmas.
Yeah.
It's a really interesting question. How about you guys? I said Applejack.
I hate to do this, but I'm gonna go with my top 2 favorite ponies, Applejack and Fluttershy, or Applejack or Fluttershy.
Okay.
Applejack, obviously, for the reason that you had.
Food.
Food, and also it's a country kind of atmosphere.
It's very family oriented, and I do enjoy
and
that.
Christmas, family oriented.
Of course.
I could imagine a big hearth with a crackling fire and stuff and whatnot.
Yeah, that sounds great.
And I don't know, Fluttershy seems like it would be kind of a more mild, a more personal dinner / Christmas kind of thing.
Yeah. I like that.
Yeah.
That's a good idea. Good points. Howard?
Pinky.
Obviously.
You're so predictable.
Well, when the correct answer is just jumping out. No, I mean,
It's to be fair, you could have been burned and explained in detail why the 6 of them are different, even though I just mentioned that. So props for you, not doing that at least.
well, there's still
I
time.
like you're straightforward. I like how straightforward you are. It's great.
Yeah, so Pinky because she parties?
Basically, I mean, I'm not
It'd be fun.
why not?
Yeah.
I don't know. You see how my Christmases are. Nothing really formal. Just
Yeah.
Yeah,
do what
so
I
it'd
want
be nice to have a
because
big,
a pink pony is free. Who, whatever. I choose Pinky.
Did you really just make that reference on the show?
Nice.
Did you just make a Lazy Town reference?
Nope.
Did I just remember the name of that show?
Yeah.
Yep.
Who's making the references now? Wait, nope, that was still me.
All right. Well, those are the questions for this week. We picked out 3, so it's a special for you. We got 10 art pieces, 11 technically, because we had 2 Otaku AP pieces. 3 questions, so many things like that.
Mm-hmm.
And a pretty good episode overall, I think. Don't you guys think?
Yeah,
great.
I enjoyed it. It was fun. It was quick, but fun.
Best one since I was here last time, I have to say.
Clearly.
Of course.
Yeah.
Well, as as always, if you want to see Mahower, just dial 1.
Just hit 1 and then call. That'll work. I
Mahower,
promise.
do you want to dial 2 for plugs really quick?
I'm not trying that again.
Come on,
I can do
It's-
you can
I can-
do it.
I can't though.
I can do the plugs.
What do you guys
Alright,
got it?
Alright, Flutter Guy, go ahead. Let's
Okay.
not torture him.
We have a DeviantArt account, which is cutieartcrusaders.deviantart.com. You can check out all the art in this episode there. We have a Gmail account, which is cutieartcrusaders@gmail.com. We have a Facebook page, which is facebook.com/cutieartcrusaders. We have a Twitter, which is @cutieartcrusade. And we have a YouTube page, which is youtube.com/cutieartcrusaders. You can go to any of those and find us and like us, etc., etc.
etc. So next week's theme is going to be a surprise, and I'm not going to tell you what it is because I thought we might do something a little bit special. significantly less special because now Burned is not here. But
I'm
whatever.
just gonna go into a corner and cry.
Yeah, it's not special. So yeah, we will be doing something fun for the first thing of 2014. It's funny because no one else except for me knows what it is.
I have no idea.
So yeah, we'll do something special for that. So we're not going to tell you what next week's theme is, but that's all right because you guys will have fun with that. So
We have
yeah,
a spoiler cast following this episode.
that is true. We do have a spoiler cast after this episode.
So
I
stay
will be
tuned
back
for that. Yes.
Yay!
So stay tuned for that if you
Are interested?
are interested. Yeah. If you haven't seen the episode already, go watch the episode and then come back.
For sure. All right. Well, thank you guys for watching. Whether or not you're on the live stream or on YouTube, we love you all the same. Thank you very much for Mahar to come in and fill a spot for us. That's really nice. It helped us kind of keep the episode's flow going. So thank you.
Really, whenever. I'm always here. Unless
You
I'm
are
not.
literally always here.
Yeah, always.
So that's very true.
I don't
All
get
right,
out much.
Well, that is everything for this week. So yeah, my name is Rainbow Plasma,
I'm Fodder Guy 317.
I'm a Howler.
and we will see you guys next week. Well, you won't see Mahar. We're killing him.
No.
He's done for.
or
Say goodbye.
Three
or
strikes
stay
and he's
tuned. Or stay tuned for the spoiler cast.
That is true. Bye.
See ya.
Hello and welcome to the sixth spoiler cast for Season 4 of My Little Pony, done by the Cutie Art Crusaders. My name is FlutterGuy317, and today I am joined by Atmospark
Hi.
and Rainbow Plasma.
Hey.
And I did that out of order.
Yeah, to
just to confuse you guys.
crap out of me.
I know.
Is it really that confusing?
Yes.
Did it take a minute?
yes,
You know.
it did.
Yeah.
For God's sakes.
So today we're going to be spoiler casting episode 7 of season 4, which is called Bats, with an exclamation point at the end.
Well, I mean, straight to the point.
Yeah.
Yeah. And don't forget that exclamation point.
Yeah. No.
And it was all caps, wasn't it?
Yeah, we'll go with that.
I think it was all caps.
Yeah, I mean, the title is pretty self-explanatory. The entire episode is about bats.
Well, yeah, that's true.
Basically, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
And a certain yellow pony.
yeah.
Well, I mean, look, we all expect you to talk the most about this because the episode was focused around Applejack and Fluttershy. So,
yes.
I mean,
So you guys want to start or something?
I don't know. Atmospark, do you have anything?
I was
Do you have anything,
expecting
like-
I was expecting like those cute coloured fruit bats from what episode that was?
Oh, yeah.
The racist
yeah.
barn one.
Yeah.
I was
Zap
expecting
Apple?
Yeah, Zap Apples. Yeah, it's not racist barn at
Yeah,
all.
it was not the racist barn one.
Yeah. No, it was.
It wasn't Zap Apples.
It was the
either.
family reunion.
It was the family
It
reunion.
was the
one.
family reunion. Yeah.
No, but it was the Zap Apple one first,
No,
wasn't
it
it?
wasn't.
Wasn't there
I
bats in the
don't-
Zap Apples?
I don't think there was.
Or am I
Uh,
thinking of something different?
I think you're thinking of something different. I'm not sure. You might be right.
Yeah, I think it was it was definitely the family reunion one, but I was thinking those, and it wasn't them.
Yeah. Yeah, these bats were like downright atrocious.
Yeah. They were not nice looking for sure.
Well,
they were definitely
Except
quite
for
evil.
when Fluttershy was talking about them. They were cute.
yeah.
The one,
Okay, that's the
the
thing.
one
So
that
let's-
nuzzled her was cute.
Mm,
So let's talk about the song because the song was obviously a part of that. So we'll get to that.
Mhm.
But let's talk about the song in general because it was a really interesting song and
liked
it was very very different to what we've seen before. But I've almost come to expect that now with the songs. I like the wide variety and the diversity in the songs that we've seen so far, and it reminded me a little bit of May the Best Pet Win and a little bit of the Cutie Mark song from the season 3 finale, and of course, as everyone is in the entire world has been saying, The Nightmare Before Christmas,
yes.
Tim Burton-esque kind of things. It reminds a lot of that, and it was really interesting to see that. And I think I don't know why, but Fluttershy seems to be getting into these kind of songs more often. Can you guys? I was thinking about this earlier, but can you guys think of a Fluttershy song that isn't this one, or May the Best Pet Win?
I mean,
Other than her Philly one, she did that Philly thing when she found her cutie mark, right?
she had a part in Winter Wrap Up.
She had a
And,
part
and,
in
and
Winter Wrap
also
Up.
the Cutie Mark song, where they switch cutie marks.
Yeah,
Yeah.
well, I'm saying I'm not saying that she never sang.
Yeah.
I'm saying that she hasn't had a song.
Well, she hasn't had like a major role in a song.
She had
Like-
May the Best Pet Win
Mhm.
and this one.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Other than like the big group ones, because I don't consider the group ones. Like that's why when we were talking about Applejack needs to sing more, we weren't talking about the group ones because obviously people sing in the group, right?
Yeah.
But that was really interesting to me because I never thought of Fluttershy as missing songs.
Mhm.
We always complain we want more Applejack songs, we want more Rainbow Dash songs, we want more blah blah blah. But I never really thought about that. But I can't think of. Maybe I'm missing something. I feel like I might be missing something. But other than May the Best Pet Win and this one, I haven't. And both of those are kind of back and forth songs.
Yeah.
Well,
Well, they're
Duets.
duets, so yeah.
yeah. Yeah, but they've also got this kind of energy that there's a back and forth energy. It's not it's always kind of it's kind of a conflict. The first one was more of like a friendly conflict and this one wasn't so friendly of a conflict, but there's always that kind of conflict back and forth with Fluttershy, which is really interesting because I'd never really noticed that before.
Yeah. It's interesting to see that like in both of the songs that she has been in, it's almost like a flip side of a coin kind of
Right.
thing.
Yeah.
Where you have two different sides of an argument and
Yeah, it's true. I find that this episode's song was, and this episode in general with the whole conflict was a really interesting conflict because I think it was one of the best two-sided arguments that we've seen in a long time. I believe that both sides of the argument were perfectly legitimate for their own reasons. Obviously, the other main six felt like Applejack's was more persuasive at the time, and I could probably agree with them, but there was this side to both arguments, which was really cool. And as I was mentioning to you before, Flutter Guy, something in the song that was really cool was they show both sides of the arguments in different ways, and they use it artistically. They have our Applejack's part be very dark and gloomy, and you've got this obvious, vignette and all this kind of stuff that makes it kind of like purpley and bluey and more dark and more sinister, which is part of her song.
You really like that word now.
Well, now that I figured out what the heck it means,
Yeah.
of course. And with Fluttershy's, they could have had it just bright and normal, but the thing is, they also took it over the top. They made these bats super cute, so you're like, all right, well, they don't look like that in real life, so obviously she's looking at this through rose-tinted glasses. And they also did this effect where they blur it a little bit. It's like putting like Vaseline on the camera and making it look, like a little bit too good and angelic, and it gives you that sense that things, she's presenting a really good side, but it's really not as it seems. It's kind of fake in a way because it's not all happy and fun like that. So they present the two sides of the arguments very well. It wasn't Applejack's being extreme and reality they're really fun. It's just like, they gave a really good two-sided argument, not only outside the song, but inside the song as well.
Yeah. It's interesting that they had that artistic contrast because basically whenever Fluttershy was singing, it was like really bright, and not just like the depiction of the bats, but like the background and the colors and everything.
It wasn't so nighttime-ish.
Yeah. And there's a part where Fluttershy flies across the screen, and you can definitely see that transition where as she's flying across the screen and singing, like Applejack and like the original frame is like dark, and then she brings in the lightness.
Yeah, it's like a wipe. So there's a lot of really cool artistic things to do with it. And even the first time that Fluttershy ever sings in that song, look at it, and what happens is she comes in from the left, and her half of the screen is bright, and Applejack's half is still in that gloomy kind of state. So they were definitely pushing that. And I think the reason why they pushed that was to make Fluttershy's argument not the overpowering one. Because if they didn't make it obvious, then it seems like Applejack's being extreme. And I don't think that was what was trying to be conveyed there. It wasn't being conveyed that Applejack was doing something wrong.
Right.
Whereas previous times, like Applebuck season, where she's being silly and she doesn't ask for help or something like that, she was definitely kind of in the wrong. This one was a two-sided argument. She was in the right. Obviously, she didn't do everything perfectly. She didn't listen to arguments, but neither did Fluttershy. Fluttershy still didn't understand the. Like I said, two-sided argument.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One part that I really liked because it was really cute is in the very beginning of the episode when Applejack is like, it's Applebuck season, yay! And then like she kicks the tree and the apples fall in slow motion.
Slow motion apple lurve.
Yeah, and the highlights on her eyes are the shape of apples.
I noticed
it's
that
so good.
Nice
Yeah.
touch for sure. Yeah. No, that was super cute, and there's some great stuff like that in the episode. It's funny how Applejack gets it seems to happen every single time. But we've talked about this before. Whenever Applejack has an episode focused around her, she always seems to be kind of the bad guy. Never like really bad, but like like an honest mistake kind of. You did you did not a great job there, but it was an honest mistake.
Yeah.
She kind of has that following her around with a lot of her episodes, and it was kind of the same thing. Less so. I think they're starting to improve it a little bit more. Previous times with her episodes, it was always like, look at how bad Applejack was, and it's kind of annoying. But in this one, it was more of like a legitimate point of view. But she was still doing that, like oh, it's an honest mistake, and she wasn't. Whereas whenever she's in the background or whenever she's a minor character, she's always like the voice of reason.
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, we've kind of gone over this before. Is that like if one pony is trying to learn a lesson in the episode, I feel that they're more portrayed in a negative light.
Yeah, that's true. It's very true.
Just because, like, they have to get the lesson across and stuff. So
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So.
But so let's transition to Fluttershy as Vampire Bat Pony.
I loved her. She looked amazing.
Yes.
Yeah, that was a really interesting style choice that they did there, and I thought it paid off really well.
Yeah.
I want to vector
it. I know. She is so cute she's cute as a pony, but as a vampire bat pony.
Yeah. Well, they did a really good job of adding in certain details too, like like she was like transforming as it went along. Obviously there's the very overt one with her ears that changed, but
And the teeth.
it was also her wings. Her wings were bat wings, and it kind of transitioned
And
a little bit.
I
It started with her eyes and then her wings, and moved on from there.
Yeah.
Not sure if you noticed, but her cutie mark changed too.
Yes.
Yeah, I actually didn't notice that.
Her
Yeah,
cutie mark
that's-
changed to bats.
That is such a good detail that they added in.
Yeah. I don't know the implications of that, because cutie marks are serious business in the pony world, but
But she
Well-
became a vampire bat, so that makes sense.
Yeah. So maybe her destiny was bats now?
so is Twilight ever gonna learn? Like, is
Yeah. It seems
we-
like magic, whenever magic is involved, there seems to be issues.
yeah.
It's always Twilight's fault.
It's never that she does it wrong. I think she's just really excited to use new magic.
Yeah.
So she's like, oh, let's try this. I can totally. It's like with the Parasprites. Like, oh, I can totally do this. Blah blah blah. And then it's like, oh, no, it didn't really work out as planned because I didn't think about this.
Yeah. Or like with Rarity's wings and stuff. I mean,
Yeah,
that
exactly.
kind of worked out, but yeah.
It worked, but not. There's side effects that she didn't really consider because she just wanted to try the magic out.
Yeah.
Interesting.
It was the same magic effect as when she got rid of the Ursa Minor. Like the big magic, yeah.
Yeah.
I also would like to point out, even though everyone keeps denying it, Twilight is taller than them. I keep telling you that, Flutter Guy, because you were like, no, it's not, blah, blah, blah. She is taller than them, and I love it.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
She is
Slightly.
taller than them, and it is subtle.
Mhm.
I would agree that it is subtle, but she is most definitely taller than them, and I like that.
Yeah.
I don't know why, but it's something very subtle about, but I just like the fact that one of them is a different height.
Yeah.
Because the pony models are so similar in a lot of ways, so it's cool to see that deviation from the norm, and it's like another indication that like Alicorn Twilight is here to stay.
Yeah.
Suck it, haters.
Uh,
I don't mind
I like
Twilight on Twilight now.
yeah.
I got used to her.
Everyone reacted so like, overreacted, I guess.
People still don't watch episodes because she's an
Yeah.
Alicorn.
Yeah. It's the same thing with like Equestria Girls. Like everyone's like, "Oh, why do you keep bringing up Equestria?" It's like it's not bad.
It's really not that bad. Like, you can dislike it, but like, you know,
yeah.
I just find it funny that people, you know, obviously the idea behind Alec, and let's not get into this, do you?
Yeah, no.
But you know, obviously the idea behind Alicorn Twilight is not of the best intentions,
Right.
but deal with it. Like, welcome to the life of watching a show that has that.
Yeah, that's kind of how the whole Brony thing got started, is because, you know, on the internets, people were like, oh, you know, the TV for the sake of TV is dead now. It's all to sell toys and stuff like that. And then, bam, ponies.
Also, where would Cadence be? She wouldn't be around if it wasn't for toys. Do you really think that they brought in Cadence because they thought it would be an amazing third Alicorn that would be best for the show? No, but they made it work because we've got some freaking amazing writers and good staff on the show.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
same thing with Alicorn Twilight.
Plus, she can fly.
Yeah.
But she hasn't been doing that a lot recently.
Well, I
No.
like the fact they're not really focusing on it too much. They had a little bit in the first episodes and stuff like that, but it should be just another part of her character, you know, a little subtle thing that shows that she's a three-dimensional character that doesn't just like one thing, you know, like a lot of shows. It's like Rainbow Dash this episode because she was talking a lot about cider, and yes, in this episode, I guess she was kind of one-dimensional, but when you look at it as a whole, you know, I would not look at Rainbow Dash and pin her like one of her top three things as cider, and
Well.
yet it's part of her character.
Yeah.
You know, like
Yeah.
like it's just it's a wide, vast character, just like Twilight. You know, her learning how to fly and being an alicorn is just one small part of her entire character.
Mhm.
You know, so I think it's a really good thing.
I like the continuity that they brought in with the cider.
Yeah, they pushed it a bit hard, but that's fine.
Yeah.
You know, like I'm not going to complain about Rainbow Dash being a minor character and acting kind of one-dimensional, because welcome to being a minor character in a main 6 episode. Like,
Yeah.
that would
Well-
be extremely hypocritical, because like I couldn't say that like and not give a shout out to like people who like Rarity,
Mhm.
because then they'd probably look at it and be like, look, she's only said things that have to do with this because she's a minor character, you know. So
Yeah.
that's how minor characters work.
Yeah.
They have to kind of be one-dimensional.
Well, and it kind of worked together with the whole the whole storyline, because I guess it would be kind of hard for Rainbow Dash to like convincingly choose Applejack's side, apart from the fact that, you know, she's a friend and all and whatnot. But like the cider kind of gave her a reason to side with Applejack
Yeah, that's true.
in the
That's
argument.
very true.
Yeah.
But so one of my favorite things about this episode is Pinkie Pie,
Yes.
because
Because her hair is a hand.
Yes.
She was fun.
Yeah, she was so hilarious. In the song, when they were all like singing and it was all like going around on the different ponies, she was the only one that was smiling.
Yeah.
And everyone else was
with
like,
the bright pink background.
yeah. And yeah, her hair held a torch and stuff. And
I like it when she's more a part of the storyline. Like, obviously she's comedic relief, right? Like that's standard. But like a lot of times when like the episode doesn't revolve around her, but she's there, sometimes she'll just like say stuff to be funny, and like because it doesn't relate to anything, that kind of puts me off a little bit. And like the characters don't react to her at all. They're just like, oh, whatever, you know? But when she's more entwined with the story and then doing funny stuff on top of that, then I like that. I you know, when she's talking with Applejack and then she shines the light in Applejack's eye, that's really funny to me, because that's relating to the story and it's relating to the lights and everything like that. You know, Pinkie works really well when she's like clever funny. And obviously people will disagree with me with that and enjoy the comic relief, but personally speaking, I like it more when it's tied in, and I think she was great in this episode.
yeah. Yeah, I mean, I enjoyed her shining the flashlight in Applejack's eyes. Well, not from Applejack's point of view, obviously. And also the exchange at the end with Fluttershy, where Fluttershy
that
was
was
like, yeah, was asking her all these questions, and Pinkie Pie was just like, yeah, no, yep, no.
Or her little shout out to Fruit Bat Roundup, right?
Yeah.
That was amazing.
Yeah, all of her
like
little
that.
quips are so good.
Yeah. But like that was relevant. She was all, I don't know.
Yeah. So it's interesting to see at the end that they're still continuing the whole journal/diary thing. Which is good because, in the first season and the second season, they had the letters to Princess Celestia, and that kind of died out in the third season. And I like that they're doing something to tie all the episodes together. It's nice.
It also provides a very easy writing out for the end of an episode.
Mm-hmm.
I know that one of the difficulties of writing is doing a proper ending, and finishing things off in a way that makes you feel like it's okay and that it's done well. And this gives a really easy way for writers to do that. So that's nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, something I know that you enjoyed in this episode, Rainbow Plasma, is Dash's little aw when she tackled the scarecrow.
Yeah, that was really subtle, but so she tackled the scarecrow, and then she saw it as a scarecrow and got really embarrassed, and she made this adorable little thing, and I thought that was really cute.
Yeah.
But again, that's kind of me being biased.
Yeah, hell, Rainbow Dash is cute. Yeah, so I mean, overall a fun episode. A lot of the episodes for this season have been fun. Well, like the Power Ponies episode last week was it was kind of just for fun. Like there was no tying back into the story, because it took place in the comic book world. But in this one, like it ties into surroundings and Applejack, her farm and stuff like that. So that was nice to kind of get back into that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I enjoyed it.
I think it's redundant at this point for me to say that I enjoy it because I enjoy every episode of Ponies. So I will tell you when I don't.
Yeah.
I also enjoyed it.
Yay. All right, so we're going to end this here. Watch our spoiler cast again next week and Cutie Art Crusaders next week because it'll be awesome. All right, signing off. I am FlutterGuy317.
I'm Atmos Spark.
And I'm Rainbow Plasma.
And we'll see you guys next week.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.